Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. This is Lifestyle Critic, where we break down movies and TV shows into their core elements. And in this video, we are going to be reviewing Wonder Woman 1984. Now, would you believe this film was originally supposed to be released a year ago, but then was consistently delayed due to the pandemic, but now it's finally been released. But was it worth the wait? Now, you know, it is an enjoyable film with great performances and really interesting storylines. That being said, it does have some major flaws in it as well though, and they are mostly prevalent in the third and final act. Now, I am going to break down all of those flaws for you in this video review, and as such, this is going to be a spoiler review, so this is your spoiler warning. If you haven't seen Wonder Woman 1984, I would highly recommend going out and checking it and then coming back to watch this video. But if you don't mind things being spoiled, then definitely stay where you are, as we are going to be talking about all things to do with Wonder Woman 1984. So from a storyline point of view, this film starts off in the same way as the first Wonder Woman film did, in terms of being set in Themyscira, and a young Wonder Woman is entering into an athletic competition. Halfway through the competition, she takes a bit of a shortcut, and this leads to her being disqualified as she didn't complete the race in the correct way. I do feel like this scene was kind of forced in there and was there more for contractual purposes, as they have to feature Themyscira in all of the Wonder Woman movies, as it wasn't necessarily apparent what the lesson from this experience was going to feature in the rest of the movie. That being said though, I have seen the film a few times now, and the thing that I can deduct is that Wonder Woman is referencing this when she is trying to advise Maxwell in the final few moments of the film, in terms of explaining that no heroes are born from lies. Alternatively, she might be referring to the lesson learnt here when she ultimately decides that she has to give up Steve in order to continue her journey. But either way, it's not necessarily obvious what the lesson being learnt from the young Wonder Woman character in Themyscira is. We then jump to 1984, which is 66 years after the first film, and we have this really funny sequence of Wonder Woman stopping some robbers in a mall, which I thought was quite entertaining. We're then introduced to the Barbara character, who's a bit of an awkward character, and she really looks up to Diana Prince and really idolizes her. We're then also introduced to the Dreamstone from that particular heist in the mall, and this Dreamstone is able to grant people wishes for whatever they want. Now, the whole plot around people being granted whatever they desire, I thought was actually really fun, as it really did show mankind's greed and the consequences of all of these wishes. And I thought it was really interesting how both Diana and Barbara were really reluctant to give up their wishes. So from that point of view, I thought it was really interesting. Steve Trevor being back was also great as well, as I really like the dynamic between the Steve Trevor character and the Diana Prince character. What I did have a bit of an issue with though was the fact that he was in somebody else's body, as that was just so unnecessary, as he really could have just been brought back in his own body. He didn't need to be in somebody else's body, which I thought was really weird. And I do agree with the comments that people are saying about the Diana Prince character was sleeping with the person that Steve Trevor was in the body of without that person's consent. And if in this movie it was gender swapped, then you just know the internet would have gone absolutely crazy. As well as that, the fact that Steve Trevor was in this random character's body, that storyline was never actually addressed, and that plot is its own storyline in its own right. So for example, in Get Out and in the Black Box film, both of those films are totally dedicated to that particular story arc, but that was never really resolved in this movie. So the whole plot around the Steve Trevor character returning into this random guy's body, I just thought was a really bad thing that they did with Wonder Woman 1984. But that being said, the fact that the Steve Trevor character was back, like I said, it was really great, as the dynamic between Diana Prince and Steve Trevor was excellent, and they had some brilliant scenes together. And the final scene with the Steve Trevor character was actually pretty emotional, so I thought the two of them did actually have some pretty great moments in this movie. The other scene that was really great was when the Barbara character suddenly came in and stopped both Diana and Steve from getting towards Maxwell, as well as the fact that the chase scene in Egypt was really great as well. So those scenes where Diana and Steve are working together to try to get to the Maxwell character, I thought were pretty excellent. The Maxwell character becoming the Dreamstone, I thought was really random and really weird, especially as it then meant that it was more Maxwell's story than Wonder Woman's story, which is not necessarily the film that we wanted to see. But that being said, I do like the fact that they really fleshed out the villain, and you could really understand his backstory, his motivations, why he's doing what he's doing. So from that point of view, I thought the Maxwell character is quite interesting. We then enter the third act, which, like I said, is where things begin to fall apart. So firstly, Maxwell being able to touch the entire world through these satellite beams, I thought was absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that the Wonder Woman character is using her lasso of truth to make the Maxwell character undo all of this chaos and carnage that he's just suddenly imparted onto the world, I just thought was really, really anticlimactic. We then have Cheetah, which I thought was just absolutely ridiculous, as she looked so awful, especially for such a high budget film. I don't know how on earth this wasn't raised by anyone before, and especially as all of the marketing material was really showcasing the fact that this Cheetah character is going to be so legendary, so they really hyped it up. And I'm just a bit shocked that nobody really raised this before, that the Cheetah character looks really, really bad, especially with all of the delays. They could have done some kind of CGI magic to make the character look a lot more impressive, but it just looked really, really bad. And the actual fight sequence between the Wonder Woman and the Cheetah character was so incredibly lame. Asteria's gold armor was really hyped up in this movie as well, and whilst that did look really, really impressive, I just felt like it was wasted in this fight, especially in the third and final act, where you're hoping for this epic battle to happen. It was just really not delivering for that particular fight sequence. We then get into Christmas, where suddenly everything is back to normal. Everyone has forgotten about everything that's gone on. It did feel a little bit cheesy, but I thought the actual sequence was quite nice. What I did think was incredibly random though, was the fact that there was no repercussions for both Cheetah and Maxwell. They were able to just kind of continue living as they were after they almost suddenly destroyed the world. There was just zero repercussions, especially with superhero movies. The villains always have to face the wrath of everything that they did, and that just did not happen in this movie. The third Wonder Woman film is going to be set in present day, so I don't know if they did that purposefully, as they want these characters to be returning in that third film, but either way I thought it was really random that they didn't do anything to those two villains. And then finally we have the Asteria wink scene. So that was really great, showing that this character, similarly to the Diana Prince character, is living amongst humans, and it was played by Lynda Carter, which I thought was absolutely awesome. So I can't wait to see how that particular storyline is going to play out in the third film. But either way, from a storyline point of view, some great things in this film, but also some awfully bad things in this film as well. So from a casting characters point of view, despite all of the flaws that we just mentioned, the casting in this one was actually excellent, and all of the characters are really, really great as well. So let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Gal Gadot, who did an incredible job in playing both the Diana Prince character and the Wonder Woman character. It was really nice to kind of see the progression of this character since the first film, as she's really adapted to life in 1984. It was a real emotional performance from the Gal Gadot actress, and she was really delivering on that side. She was absolutely brilliant again in the multiple fight and chase sequences, and it was really iconic when that Wonder Woman music came on. You just knew that there was going to be a brilliant scene, and Gal Gadot truly delivered in that and just led the film in a really effortless way. And like I said, it was really great to see the growth in terms of this character being a lot more wiser, in terms of being a lot more mature, and also just being really, really funny as well. So I thought that the Gal Gadot actress was really, really great as well, and it was really nice to see the Wonder Woman growth as well. After the Steve Trevor character tragically had to leave again, this character really did become her own entity, and I think that's the reason why she was able to suddenly take up the ability to fly. It was really interesting as well that they were using the lasso of truth so much in this film. Some scenes, it seemed as if they were trying to mimic the Spider-Man swinging scenes, as the sword and shield were not used at all. I know they purposely did that, as they wanted this film to be a little bit different to the first film, and wanted to show that Wonder Woman doesn't always use her sword and shield. But she did use it again in the future installments. But either way, as far as this film is concerned, it was really nice to kind of see the lasso of truth being used a lot more. We then have Chris Pine returning to the role of Steve Trevor. Like I said before quite a few times, it would have been nice if he was in his own body, but either way, I really like the fact that he was back, as I really like the dynamic between the Steve Trevor character and the Diana Prince character. I really like the fact that they flipped the fish out of water sequence with Steve Trevor this time. So this time he was the character that didn't know how to adjust to life in 1984, and he was kind of being in awe of everything in the world, and the Diana Prince character was more of the mentor role this time, and was teaching him about life in 1984. And like I said, he was a great support for the Diana character. I thought it was a little bit random when the plane suddenly went invisible, but either way I thought Chris Pine did a really great job in terms of bringing back the Steve Trevor character. We then have Kristen Wiig, who is introduced in this film as the Barbara character. I actually really liked this character's arc and journey. It was a little bit predictable in terms of what was going to happen, but I really liked the fact that, you know, you could see her being in awe of Diana Prince and then eventually becoming a bit of a formidable foe against the Wonder Woman character. Like I said, when she transformed into Cheetah, that was really, really bad, but either way, I thought Kristen and Wiig did a really great job in bringing both sides of the Barbara character to life. Similarly, I thought Pedro Pascal was really great, as well as the other main villain, Maxwell Lord, in this movie. Character, a bit of a greedy loser who just constantly wanted more and more and more, and was just totally doing everything for personal gain, and just literally wanted to take over the whole world. And I really like the fact that you kind of went back in time and you could understand the history of this character to see why he's doing what he's doing. Like I said before though, him becoming the Dreamstone was a little bit weird. This character is actually a really big, formidable villain against the entire Justice League in the comics, and he does do a lot of mind control, so I'm guessing that's the reason why they wanted this character to become the Dreamstone, to kind of do their interpretation of that. But either way, I thought Pedro Pascal was really great as Maxwell Lord. We had the Amazonians in the first sequence of this movie. They were great as usual, but like I said, you didn't really see much of them. And then finally we have the Asteria character being played by Lynda Carter, which is absolutely brilliant. It was really nice to kind of see another character from the Amazon place, Themyscira, that's now living in amongst humans, and it's going to be really interesting to see where they're going to take this character in the next installment. So overall, from a cast and characters point of view, Wonder Woman 1984 is pretty awesome. So apart from Cheetah, I actually thought the visuals in Wonder Woman 1984 were actually really great. Very 80s, so you do actually feel like you're in the right setting that the film is based in, and the visuals are really cheesy as well, so if you're alright with that, then you are going to have a good time with Wonder Woman 1984. Whilst they were less than last time, I did actually quite like the fight sequences in this film, namely the one in the mall right in the beginning, the one in Egypt, and the one at the White House. I thought was absolutely brilliant. Like I said before though, the one with Cheetah was absolutely awful. So there were some hits and some misses in this film from a visuals point of view. Again, despite its flaws, I actually much preferred the setting in 1984 compared to World War I in the first film. So in terms of comparing Wonder Woman the first film against Wonder Woman 1984, I did prefer Wonder Woman 1984, and I would also say it's on the same level as Captain Marvel and Birds of Prey. So from a comparisons point of view, Wonder Woman 1984 is definitely not the best superhero movie out there, but equally it's not the worst either. So overall, I would say, you know, Wonder Woman 1984 does definitely have its issues in there, but if you're able to look past all of them, then you are going to be able to enjoy this movie. You know, it's got a brilliant cast attached to it, really stellar performances, excellent fight sequences, and a really great plot that, again, if you're able to look past the issues, you are able to enjoy it. And I already can't wait to see what they're going to be doing with the third Wonder Woman movie, and seeing how this character is going to be part of the wider DCEU. So for all of those reasons, I'm going to give Wonder Woman 1984 a 5.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.